This is National Native News. I'm Antonia Gonzalez. TransCanada is asking South Dakota's Water Management Board for a permit to use Cheyenne River water to build the Keystone XL pipeline. TransCanada has also asked the board to exclude tribes and environmental groups from weighing in on the permitting process. A two-day hearing set for last week has been rescheduled for May 8th to give pipeline opponents more time to gather information and prepare arguments. Victoria Wicks reports.
TransCanada has filed motions with the Water Management Board to bar the Great Plains Tribal Water Alliance from participating in hearings. The company also wants the board to preclude consideration of implied water rights, tribal land and treaty issues, the merits of the pipeline, and the need for an environmental impact statement as requested by the Yankton Sioux tribe. The first motions hearing was set for April 24th, but the deadline for motions was set for April 23rd. That resulted in 16 filings the day before the hearing. Elizabeth Lone Eagle, who lives on the Cheyenne River with her 3 children, is participating without an attorney. She says the deadlines were too tight for her to adequately prepare.
We don't have access. We don't have an office full of people. From where we live, I can't even tell you how difficult it is just to get things mailed. You know, we're more than 10 miles from the nearest post office. We're 40 miles from groceries. I think that there needs to be, some kind of consideration given that, no, I'm not an attorney.
After listening to an hour of arguments from representatives of Rosebud and Yankton tribes and Dakota Rural Action, hearing examiner Rodney Freeman granted an extension. Freeman will consider TransCanada's request to exclude tribes and others on May 8th and 9th and will set dates for future hearings. In its application to use water, TransCanada says it plans to start construction on worker camps in August. A federal injunction remains in place for now. For National Native News, I'm Victoria Wicks in Rapid City, South Dakota.
U.S. Senators on an appropriations subcommittee discussed the 2020 budget for the Indian Health Service Wednesday during a hearing in Washington and asked for an update on reforms following the sentencing of a former IHS doctor for abusing Native children. The more than $5 billion budget proposal includes millions in funding to address hepatitis C, HIV, modernizing electronic health records, staffing, and other needs. There are decreases, including in areas of construction. Montana Senator John Tester raised concerns about low-level funding and possible cuts for urban Indian care. Tester says urban clinics struggle and asked IHS officials to re-examine urban funding, adding it's part of trust and treaty responsibilities. Michael Wiaki, the principal deputy director for the IHS, was the main witness, saying goals for the agency are improving access to care and quality of care. Wiaki says the agency is moving forward on ensuring patients are protected and sexual abuse will not be tolerated. He met with tribes in South Dakota and Montana to discuss steps the IHS is taking to protect patients after former Dr. Stanley Weber was convicted of sexually abusing children on the Blackfeet Reservation. Weber now faces trial for accusations of sex crimes on Pine Ridge. A number of other issues were discussed during the hearing, including drug abuse and mental health. Minneapolis is kicking off American Indian Month. Native people, their allies, and political leaders celebrate and recognize Native Americans in Minnesota. A parade to the Indian Center starts off events. Workshops, wellness fairs, powwows, films, and other events will be held throughout May. I'm Antonia Gonzalez.
National Native News is produced by Kawanak Broadcast Corporation with funding by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Support by AARP. What AARP does might surprise you, like supporting the National American Indian Housing Council annual conference taking place May 7th through the 9th in Denver. More at aarp.org/Native Origins. Support for law and justice-related programming provided by Hobbs, Strauss, Dean & Walker, LLP, a national law firm dedicated to promoting and defending tribal rights for more than 30 years. More information available at hobbsstrauss.com.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.